Alright guys, welcome to the Blue January Finals. My name is Counterfeit, joined by Dealers today for the top class ESL iOS action. Now it's worth saying to all you guys before we get into this that it looks like we might be having some staffing issues on the ESL end of things. So we're going to try and keep you guys updated as we go. If in worst case scenario, it may end up in a situation where we don't actually have a tournament for you. If that is the case, we will of course let you know as soon as we can, because we'll need to get another tournament or a reschedule sorted out. For now, let's jump into the Battle Royale and just kill a little bit of time.
Yep, and let's see if Peter can get a turkey sandwich to begin it all out with.
Oh boy. Well,
yep, now you have pressure on you, mate.
I feel like I did pretty okay in the previous ones. I don't think I ever got anywhere near winning, but I think I've started to, the whole sort of thing where you there's a bell curve. So you start really terrible, and then you kind of get to as good as you're probably going to get in a given period of time, and you start to fall off again. I think I might have peaked, is what I'm saying, in the last stream. So if I just start losing on the loading screen, then there'll be a reason why. Okay, so it looks like Danny W is going to be helping us out on the admin side of things today, so we'll be getting into our bracket and everything in just a few moments' time. If you'd like to look at that for yourself, I've updated the bracket command, so you can use !bracket to look at it for yourselves.
Yay! Thumbs up.
Yeah, so Dealers. I think it's too easy to take it for granted when things work out, and just kind of take it as a given.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So, thanks to our ESL admin staff for sorting out what was a bit of a tricky situation, and hopefully everything should be fine from here on out. Let's go hunting. Wait, that person just left a health pack behind. Do it. Up. They're moving in such a weird way. I don't think they're even aware that I'm here.
Hey Peter, shoot them.
That was such a weird game.
Wait, nobody could have dodged that. I could have dodged that.
Can you dodge a spoon?
I don't have a spoon.
Oh, there you go. Definitely not then.
Hey,
anyway.
Remember we were talking about the differences between the Japanese and the Chinese spoon?
I remember that it happened, but I honestly, it just kind of my brain fell out my ears. Not to say it wasn't fascinating, but let's take a look at the brackets instead of the spoons. So, Dealers, who have we got on the card today?
Well, first up, it will be Frankenstein, rather. They will be going up against Vida Mala, XZT. It is the first seeded team versus the 8th seeded team from respectively Iraq and the United States of America. Now, apparently Frankenstein coming from Iraq does surprise me a bit, as they usually represent France, but today apparently representing Iraq. Below them it will be the Oblivious Allies versus Gamuso, Japan versus the United States of America. Below them it is an all Japanese game, as it is Re-Evolutions versus Roxas, and number 1, the team coming in from Iraq, will move straight into the semi-final.
Yes, so these are our top teams from the month of January. We're almost caught up to where we need to be. Yeah, we should have some absolutely fantastic matches. I'm a little bummed out we can't bring both of the initial quarterfinals, the Oblivious Allies and Gamuso and Re-Evolutions versus Roxas, to you, but I believe we're going to be most likely having Oblivious Allies versus Gamuso as our theoretically slightly closer match of the two.
Yeah, well, I am looking forward to seeing that one Counterfeit, and obviously I'm also looking forward to seeing how Roxas they will perform in today's competition, because they have done so well for themselves in the past, but now they did lose to Frankenstein, in the last tournament, which does mean that they are bloodthirsty for revenge.
So our first giveaway of the day, because we'll be doing double giveaways all the way through today's stream, is on twitch.tv/Modern Combat. Head across there, throw in a hashtag RO16, and you can leave today. Well, I say leave today. You will get marked down for a 300 credits little thank you gift for dropping by today's stream. As I said, 2 on each platform, so you don't want to be missing out. I think we'll probably be getting our first ESL key in just a few moments' time.
We do have the first key.
We do?
Yeah. We've had it for like 1.5 minutes.
Well, blow me down with a feather. In that case, let's waste no time at all. Gamuzo is awaiting. The bluest allies will be here, so our fantastic opening match for today is just moments. And I think, actually, the player's pretty much ready to go straight away. So we should waste no more time and jump almost straight in with our first ESL match of the day. Alright, I believe everyone is ready. Let's just check. Let's just change our bits and pieces around. Swap the sides of the team and then we'll pretty much be good to go.
Hey, well, counterfeit. Are you hyped? Because I am ready for some good MC5 matches here today.
Ooh.
I'm sure we're gonna get it, considering it is a final. So that means that we have the best of the best here today.
Well, in bad news, we're probably going to need to switch because I just realised as we got into that one that they've started without us. What a bunch of scallywags. So we'll have to find out if maybe if re-evolutions versus oh no, this is exceptionally bad news. I think because of the confusion with admin confusion at the start of the stream, we may not be able to grab you the first ESL match of the stream. So instead, what we'll do is we'll get you guys up and into our first community game of the day. So ESL 1, 2, 3 is all you need to be able to join in. Let's bring you guys in here. Let's see. Well, Dealers, where do you reckon we should go?
Oh, well, I always like the rooftops, but I'm not sure you agree with me.
Actually, hold the phone. I'm just gonna have a quick check and see. There might actually be another match going. I don't want to get you guys' hopes up or my hopes up either.
Yeah, Danny just gave us a password. I think it might be for game number 2. Oh, it is game number 1, huh?
It does not seem to be active at the moment. Hold the phone, guys. Oh, Lord Rufo, we definitely don't speak Spanish ourselves. Okay, I think that game may have come and gone. So, all right, we'll hold off. We will go back to that community game then instead. We'll await word from our admin as to when the next match comes up. Sorry about that, guys. These things do happen sometimes. But, hey, this gives us an opportunity to get you guys out on stream just a little bit faster. So, again, ESL 1, 2, 3 is all you need to get in on the action. And let's see. So, we're going to go to Advantage for this particular free-for-all. Come and join us with a global chat invite. Or if you've added me up as a friend, then that basically means you're going to get spammed with lots and lots of invites. Okay, so we've got Oreo. welcome back, guys, from the previous cast. Always nice to see some of the familiar faces. Let's see if we can find a few more.
Well, come on, guys, join up. We want to see you guys fight to the death.
To the death.
Or at least Peter do, because I know he's a very bloodthirsty guy.
Oh, I thought you meant to my death. In which case, do you know something that I don't?
Well, to be fair, Peter, the game would probably end faster if it was your death than my death, because you are not technically, you are older than me. So I'm just saying that there's a higher risk that you're gonna die before me.
Wow. I'll obviously have to invest a little bit of the old life insurance, which is gonna come with a guard king.
Hey, I'm not gonna murder you. Just don't fall asleep tonight.
Oh. Well, that's a bummer. I was looking forward to go to sleep.
I'm sorry I ruined it for you.
Oh man. Yeah, guys, you take some things for granted, don't you? Like falling asleep, having breakfast, all these things. You assume it'll just keep going. But sometimes a Danish person comes along, strips all that away. It's a terrifying prospect. Alright, so I think we've got enough to get started with. So while we have a word with our admin and sort out our first ESL match, please do enjoy playing on the stream itself. ESL 123 will also get you into the game once it's underway.
Oh, Peter.
Mm-hmm.
Well, while we go to break, it does seem that we have another pass key up, so we're gonna get that underway. And then, guys, we're gonna have some official ESL matches coming your way.
Ooh, so that's going to be Re-Evolutions versus Roxas. We've certainly been kept on our toes in today's tournament, but fortunately, we shouldn't be too much longer. So stay tuned, guys. We'll just check and see if that lobby is live. If it is, we'll drop you guys in there, and we'll get things kicked off officially in just a couple of minutes' time. Alright guys, welcome back and welcome to our first official ESL game of the day. We are coming into game 2 between Roxas and Re-Evolutions, with the first game falling in favour of Roxas.
Well, they are coming out here counterfeit and finding a lot of kills already from the beginning. 2 kills with a grenade from, I think it was Rai, and then 1 member of the Re-Evolution squad being shut down with a sniper. And now Zero coming in and finding 2 kills with that grenade launcher. Re-Evolutions, come on guys, give us a fight.
We know that Roxas have started to falter slightly in recent times, but they are still a terrifying force to behold. With this All-Japan derby, should be a lot of fun, but not if Roxas are too dominant.
No, that is true. If Roxas they are a bit too dominant, then the game will obviously be very one-sided counterfeit, and we want to see a close game here today. But you know, one game that will be close for sure will be the grand final if Roxas and Frankenstein they move all the way up, because Roxas and Frankenstein they are 2 legendary teams, and they both know how to play in a grand final.
It should be absolutely fantastic stuff. As always, these monthly finals are here to help determine who will be taking home the lion's share of the €500 prize pool. Second place taking 150. First place taking 350. So high stakes competition, and Roxas are here to claim it all.
And you know what, Counterfeit? Roxas, they want to win another monthly final. They suffered their first tournament loss in a long time in the last weekend, where they lost 3-0 to Frankenstein. That must feel humiliating to a team that have been so dominant for such a long time.
Yeah, Roxas certainly are giving us a pretty good display of what they're capable of. We've gotten to see Re-Evolutions and Roxas play a fair amount recently, so it's kind of nice to see how the Re-Evolution squad are trying to adapt. Shanji, though, the only player on the on the Re-Evolution side of things who've managed to pick up more than one kill in this game. Roxas are looking extremely dominant, and the rest of Re-Evolution's just trying to hide behind Xianji at this point.
Well, Xianji, with finding 4 kills, is he the top fragger right now for Re-Evolution's Counterfeit? Oh yeah, he definitely is. 4 kills, Xianji. That is not exactly something that the Re-Evolutions they can brag about, because Xianji, having died 7 times, he has given over a lot of kills to Roxas too, but at least he is keeping up in terms of kills, so that he will help his team a bit more than those bottom fraggers in Pax and Tico, who have only found 2 kills.
It's tough times to be a fan of the Re-Evolution squad. They're really not getting their feet under them at all in this second quarter-final game. We'll have to see if there's anything that's going to change in the second half of this match, because this has been almost entirely Roxas focused so far.
And they have been dominating, and they have a 15 kill lead. Counterfeit. This team, they're so far ahead. They don't care about being in the quarterfinal and having to face Re-Evolutions. They want to move straight into the semifinal and fight number 1. And with the pace this game is going at, I'm sure they're going to be doing that in just a matter of seconds.
Alright guys, get your last entries in on Twitch while you can, because we're going to be banging through today's tournament at a rate of knots, much like Roxas are looking to chew up and spit out the opposition extremely quickly. Last part of this game coming up. Roxas, I think perhaps even just struggling to find some targets right now as Re-Evolutions are trying to hunker down. But that's not a winning strategy, just a lose more slowly strategy.
Well, it is not something that you see every day. Now, airstrike being deployed for Re-Evolutions. Malfoy will find a kill onto Kiri. But that airstrike finding 2 kills for Roxas Ride, finding a kill onto Shanji. The top fragger from Re-Evolutions having a hard time.
Now, I know D-List are fond of Malfoy because of his ability to allow you to make wizard jokes. But
hey, the best kind of jokes.
They are. Malfoy is actually doing a relatively okay job of defending here. Let's see, so yeah, we've run into the same thing as before. Or the same thing we had kind of at the beginning of the game, rather. That Shanji has got the lion's share of the kills and deaths. Which makes you wonder what's, the question what's happening with the Re-Evolution's teamwork. Let's see. So, assists? Yeah, there's actually very few assists in this game. Most of the kills are being done 1 versus 1. Perhaps that does speak to the Re-Evolution squad needing to reassess their teamwork, because when it comes to one-on-one skill, they're struggling to match up to Roxas.
Well, looking at the stats, you also have a lot of explosive kills on the side of Roxas, which means that they are able to double up those kills at times, whereas Re-Evolutions, they're just purely relying on them being able to hit the shots. And as you can see in this game, they are being outmatched, which simply means that, well, in a straight up 1v1 where they have to rely on the mechanics, they aren't winning.
Rubru grabs another Roxas, looking ridiculously good right now. Rai gonna take the biggest amount of that spotlight as Roxas look to take the largest amount of the prize pool here today. 17-4 is honestly ridiculous. And the final kill goes across. It's Shanji, the one who died and lived the most for the Re-Evolution squad, who will be their final grave.
Now, Roxas, they're gonna move into the semi-final, where they're gonna have to face number 1 up in the top side of our bracket. Frankenstein versus Viva Mala and Oblivious Allies versus Camuso are still fighting to get into their semi-final, but for now, we're gonna have the first semi-final ready in just a matter of a few minutes.
As you see here, number 1, ready and waiting. So guys, get in your last hashtag RO16s before the Twitch giveaway comes to a close, because we will be closing it almost straight away. But we will try and get you guys into a community game before we do, because I know we just kind of teased you with it before. We'd like to be able to make good on it. So ESL123 will always be the passkey. Please do come and join us. Let's see. Boop, 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 boop. So a team battle on conversion. But don't worry, dealers. We'll get to the rooftops one day.
Oh, but not today.
Well, I mean, if you consider each game to be a different day, then
But
sure.
Peter, why you do this to me?
Well, sometimes somebody needs a rooftop, and sometimes somebody needs an umbrella, and that's what you get on conversion, because it's covered on the top.
Why you do this, Peter?
You're creeping me out. Yes, but giving me the creeps.
Hey.
Quick, guys, you gotta come to this lobby. Dealers is losing his mind again. Oreo, thank you. You're a savior. But who will come and join Oreo in this counterfeit restoration?
I have a question for you. Seeing as how you are the president of being the oldest guy here, probably.
Oh, jeez. Second time you brought it up. I think someone's got issues. Yes? No, please carry on. Or commentate the whole way through everything you're saying.
What is your favorite meme?
Oh boy.
You're the doyen of the broadcast.
The doyen?
Yeah.
What's that?
That's wait, the doyen? I think that's a thing.
The sounds.
Doyen?
Doyen?
Dean?
Dean?
Yeah.
Like a university dean?
The senior member of the group?
Oh, it's not really used in a general way like that.
Well, it is used now.
No, still not. Alright guys, so we've got an opportunity.
But I need to... What's your favorite meme?
We'll find out after the break!
Hey! Yep.
Alright guys, welcome back to the monthly finals. We're getting into our semi-finals already as we follow Roxas from their first game on to now facing off against number 1 who represent Iraq in today's competition.
And now for Roxas, they obviously are the big favorites here in this matchup. Even though number 1 they are our second seeded team, we must say that Roxas, they have performed time and time again. And they are looking for yet another victory here today in this monthly final. Right now with a 4-kill lead and not even 30 seconds has been played.
Yeah, we know that Rai doesn't play around, as Roxas have been extremely dominant recently. They've traded wins back and forth with Frankenstein over the last couple of events they've clashed with them in. So we're very much looking forward to see if Frankenstein do make it to the finals. If Roxas make it to the finals for a fantastic clash there, or if they don't, then whoever could take their place.
Well, it should be a good matchup here between number 1 as well, kind of it, because even though I say that Roxas, they are the big favorites, number 1, they got the second place in the Blue November 2018 finals, and obviously we are in the January finals of 2019. But it just means that number 1, they are used to playing this kind of style too, and that they definitely are looking to go all the way here in this tournament too. And they know how to deal with the pressure that comes of being in a semi-final.
I mean, this is just, this is what happens when you have a team that's been around for such a long time. It's really impressive, honestly, how established some of these teams have gotten. We've seen the same names again and again. The sheer determination from not just, the dominant team like Roxas, who obviously, they get the rewards for playing. They tend to win, they tend to get the prizes, but also are other teams like number 1 and others who, can get to something like this Blue January finals and lose out in the quarters, lose out in the semis, but just keep on coming back and keep on striving to aim just that little bit higher next time.
Right, finds a kill with that grenade. Counterfeit. Roxas, they're striving to go to the grand final. Now with a 3-kill lead, number 1, they aren't too far behind. But we do know that Roxas, they are deadly as a bee. well, for some people, of course, that if you give them the chance to win this, they will take it all the way. Now, number one, coming in here and stinging. And they're taking down Roxas, or at least trying to.
Yeah, honestly, I'm impressed by what we're seeing from number one. They are really coming back. But of course, that can all change so quickly when Roxas are in play. Number one, almost catching up. And again, you know, Roxas are such an established team that even if they've had some less than successful tournaments in recent times, it's still an impressive team. An impressive team that can go toe-to-toe with Roxas at any point during the game.
And they have shown that so far, Counterfeit, that they can stand their ground against Roxas. They're at least keeping even right here. And now they have a lead, actually, against Roxas. So
wow.
It's not a done deal yet at number one. They are keeping up.
So it feels like the one to watch is Gigi Hadid, who just landed a double kill through the grenade. Currently the best KDA on the number one squad. And while there are people, people with higher scores, it's about having that one real standout player that can push a team ahead. I have not come across Gigi Hadid before, but they are very much impressing on first blush.
Yeah, coming in with 11 kills, this guy. Showing up, and actually I'm looking at the profile right now for the number one team, and Gigi, he is their team captain alongside Descents. So he's here and he is leading his team forward, coming in with that battle cry.
Well, if it's working, and number one have got that lead. They've managed to hold on to it despite Roxas screaming back into the game again and again. Taco doing some very good fire support as Insanity is rocking up the score, and Gigi is the one who's making sure that score is in number one's favour. You can see, yeah, we've got 10 different players in this game, but the score can still be so close between the two teams, and that's, you know, if we look at the scoreboard, that's pretty much entirely down to Gigi's performance.
Well, you also have Insanity coming in with 12 kills, if I looked correctly. So you can't give all the credit over to Gigi, but now Counterfeit. 2 minutes left to go. Things are slowing down here between Roxas and number one. Number one, 43 kills. Sorry, 43 kills rather. And Roxas, 41. It is not over yet, but it is so close to being over, Counterfeit. And for number one, they just need 7 more kills. Roxas, 9.
Let's have a look. So, time is running out. But will number one manage to hold on to the end? They're only ahead by 2. Not a comfortable situation, but honestly, that may be for the best. A team that gets even a little bit complacent against Roxas is a team that's soon destined for the ground.
And now Roxas, they actually have the lead. 1 minute and 15 seconds. Right there, Hadid and Insanity, they will find 2 kills. But Zero will get 1 on Insanity. It's even. 46, 47 as Zero finds kill onto Taco.
Right goes a charging in as Arubu gets one. Gigi wins out that trade, just about survives. Insanity grabs another as well. Number one, 1 kill away. Roxas, 2.
Airstrike's been coming in.
You have to know the explosions will be coming, raining down from the sky. Just one misstep could spell the end, and Gigi lands another. You call it dealers. The bomber did the job.
Congratulations to number one. It was so close. But they show us that Roxas, they can bleed. And even though they lost the grand final last week, I did not expect Roxas to fall over here in the semi-final and to lose against number one. But Roxas, they have another shot here in the next game where we will be going over to Scramble. And there, Roxas, they can make their comeback. Or number one could go all the way to the grand final.
Well, guys, we'll definitely be looking into Gigi Hadid because that was a fantastic performance. As you rightly pointed out, D-List, there were many other strong performances as well. But ultimately, Gigi was the one who put the number one squad over the top. We will be moving on to Facebook for our next giveaway. Hashtag quarter into the Facebook comments of the current video to enter. We will be back in a few minutes' time with the continuation of our semi-finals, so get your entries in while you can, and we'll see you guys in just a few minutes' time. Alright guys, one and all, let's get back into our semi-finals between Roxas and number one. A very impressive performance from number one to take game one, and a lot of that was down to Gigi Hadid with some real impressive numbers.
Let's see if we can keep it up now, kind of Fate, because number one, they're so close to taking down Roxas, the tournament favorites. Once again, right here, Ryusei and his squad, they're coming out and they're showing the world that they are not done and out yet.
There's nothing more dangerous than a cornered Roxas, as dangerous as Roxas usually are. As the Japanese squad starting out pretty strong, Gigi comes in with the second kill for number one. Now, Brown Stanley was talking in the chat during the break, admiring what number one were doing, talking about their controlling of the entryways. Going to be a lot harder to do out on the wide open spaces of Scramble, but nonetheless, number one have caught up with the Japanese team.
And now, number one, they just need to keep this up here against Roxas. Keep trading kills, and that is something that they have done pretty well in game number one. And one thing that we also need to keep an eye out for is whether or not number one, they will make that final push when we get towards the later stages of this second map, because in the last map in game number one it was also even, but when we got to the last 2 minutes, number one, they just pushed up for the steam and they really gave it their all.
Right, considering going up to the high ground to provide coverage for the Roxas squad, as the second semi-final game is extremely close so far. A couple of explosive kills picked up for the number one squad, puts them in the lead, and Gigi Hadid again slamming down those points for the Iraqi team, doing a real nice job with the kill streaks as well as with the traditional explosives.
Gigi Hadid, 9 kills right here. This guy, he's finding a lot of kills and is putting in the work for number one. They have a 3-kill lead, but a lead is a lead against Roxas. 4 minutes and 50 seconds left to go. Ryusei and Kiri, they find 2 kills right there, and they get a lead after Rai finds a good grenade onto Insanity.
It's still extremely close. We're waiting to see one team or the other really break away. With so many variables in play, with so many players on the field, it's always, again, you know, as we were talking about in the last game, it's amazing how close these games can end up being.
Well, the games are indeed very, very close, kind of Fit. Roxas just with a kill lead, but it is immediately traded back over to number one. It is a very close game, as we've said, kind of Fit. And now, I'm looking forward to seeing who will actually win this, because it is just teetering on a knife's edge.
Number one, a creep ahead just as quickly. Roxas come back again. Boy, we've not seen a game this close for a while. It's one thing to have the game end out very closely, but this whole game has just been a series of both teams surging backwards and forwards. You have to think in some way, the decision making of the teams is leading to this. Is there, the closer it is, the more risks the team might be willing to take, and so you can end up giving away kills. You can end up picking up kills. As Roxas take the lead with the Rubaru, we just know it's gonna be swinging back again momentarily.
Now bombers are available and they are being deployed from the two teams. Gigi Hadid once again finding a kill, but it will immediately go down to Rai with that great grenade. Right now, Rai, he is on a tear with 10 kills. This guy, he is really showing up and killing a lot of people here in this team deathmatch. Roxas, they want to force this to a third game. They want to go to construction site.
Zero's got to wear their MVP badge right now, picking up an impressive 13 kills and just escaping out the back of a hail of grenades coming back their way. So this, this is something we're seeing, and I think that maybe this goes to what Baron Sandy was talking about before, that from both of these teams, they're kind of cycling backwards and forwards between each other. They throw out their grenades, they get their shots off, and then they make a move, have their teammates cover their retreat, and in that way keep up a fairly, constant barrage of fire without having to worry about getting caught reloading.
Airstrike coming in here for Roxas. 5 kills is what they have in the lead. Right here, Taco finding a kill. 2 minutes and 5 seconds left. Roxas, they are so close that they can taste that third game. But, whoa, that's a grenade coming onto Ryusei. Only 4 kills right now. Make that 5 as Dry finds a kill. Kiri finds another kill. And we see a lot more kills coming in for Roxas. Now, they might end this game just with a 10-kill lead.
Looking pretty good for Roxas' chances. Number 1 have just fallen away in this later game. And Roxas, if they're going to choose any time to fully unleash their power, it makes sense for it to be right now. Give number 1 as little of an opportunity as possible to realize that they will need to step up, just as Roxas have apparently stepped up and showed off. 1 more kill to go. Will Roxas find it? Zero looking across, getting blocked a little bit by the same terrain they're using as cover, but they will not be denied forever. And Roxas tie up the series 1-1.
We are going to a third game. We're going to construction site, and we're going to have to see if number 1 they can finish things out, or if Roxas they will make the reverse sweep. Counterfeit. This series, it is so close, and this is exactly what we wanted. A close series between 2 teams, Roxas and number 1. Both some legendary teams who know how to deal with a semi-final situation.
Yep, a fantastic semi-final will come to its conclusion next, so don't go anywhere. Our Facebook giveaway will be coming to a close soon as well, so get your last entries in there while you can, and stick with us as we find out who will be going to the finals, number 1 or Roxas, after the break. Welcome back, one and all. The last game of our semi-final between Roxas and number one is here. And dealers, I did some investigative journalism in the intervening time because the question of this semi-finals is who is Gigi Hadid? And dealers, I think we have an answer.
And what is it, Counterfeit?
Well, I don't know if you... Well, they've been around a while, because, you know, we kind of took that as a given, because of how well they were doing, but Gigi Hadid is actually Fury, who I've definitely seen more than a few times in ESL competition. Not necessarily one that I've noticed as being, like, you know, an incredible standout player so far, but maybe things have changed. We shall find out. Certainly the number... from talking to Gigi between games, they seem to be, you know, there's not necessarily a huge amount of confidence on their part that they were going to win out this semi-final, so we'll have to find out if confidence is a prerequisite for winning, because certainly I don't believe that Roxas ever seem to have a doubt.
Well, to be fair, I can understand why, because last weekend, Roxas, they had a win rate of 85%. Now, this weekend, they have a 75% win rate. They have lost 7 games in the last 5 tournaments. So I can understand why you might be a bit hesitant to say that you're going to win against Roxas, considering how dominant they have been in the last 5 tournaments. But obviously, ever since last weekend, we've seen how these gods, they can actually bleed because they lost that monthly final. So even them can't be tamed.
We'll see if the continuation of the decline of Roxas, or perhaps instead, an ascendancy of others in their place. I mean, I can certainly imagine it, you know, if you're a team on top all the time, that you know, because eventually, no matter how good a team is, they have to lose at some point, even if it's just from, you know, a team losing players to retirement or moving on to, you know, some other stage of life. No team gets to be the best team of forever. And when that happens, I have to wonder how it affects a team's mentality.
You're right, Counterfeit. No king rules forever, and it's looking like Roxas, they are about to lose their dynasty, their empire. Or I guess their kingdom, since they were calling them kings. Today, because number one, they have a 4-kill lead. They are so far ahead here against Roxas. And Roxas, they're looking like they are out of steam, that they can't keep up. They have an 8-kill lead now on the side of number one. That's not something you see every day against Roxas. So guys, we're seeing history being made.
Roxas and any other team that seeks to claim the crown, it's just as much, if not more, of the history, the ascendancy, and then, of course, the, you know, when the barbarians are at the borders, at the gates, when the team's tenure on top is threatened, that's just as much a part of their story as any other part.
It certainly is, Counterfeit, and now with the time running down, with the game soon to be over, number one, they have such a big lead. It's 12. Roxas, even though we've said that they are the gods of MC5, the blue tournaments, that they have won every weekly tournament in February, and they have won so many monthly finals. They're looking to go out here in the semi-final, something that is unheard of and that I did not dare dream of.
It seems to be a nightmare for Roxas right now, as you can kind of see by the movements they're starting to get frantic, searching backwards and forwards. I honestly don't know. Like, you know, I'm just not used to seeing Roxas in this kind of situation. They seem to be completely outclassed. If anything, I mean, this is one of the problems of being a team that's on top. You just don't know how to lose, and it feels like Roxas are just, you know, this is a massive change for them to be in a situation where they could lose out, and lose out they did, not just in a regular weekly tournament, but in a monthly finals. A blue finals without Roxas there in the grand finals is a finals that I'm not familiar enough with to know even how to begin.
Well, Counterfeit, the same goes for me. I am as surprised as you are, but number one, congratulations to you going into the grand final. where you're gonna have the choice of either well, you're gonna have the possibility, not the choice, but the possibility of meeting either Frankenstein or the Oblivious Allies. Frankenstein, they would love to win their second monthly final in a row. But right now, they are battling against the Oblivious Allies to see if they are going to be able to move into the grand final. If the Oblivious Allies, they win, then we are going to have a Japanese squad in our grand final, even though Roxas, they are not there.
Well, guys, we will be keeping our Facebook giveaway going for now. So please do get your hashtag quarters in on the Facebook comments. We'll be bringing that to a close pretty darn soon. But now we've got our first finalist. Let's get you guys into a game. So let's go do another free-for-all. Dealers, your choice of this one.
Can we have a capture the flag?
Alright. And where shall we deposit such a thing?
Well, let's try with rooftops.
Okay, I don't have any idea what that would be like on rooftops. But
no, it's a new thing, and I'm like, it might work, it might not. But I kind of want to see how it'll turn out.
Alright guys, let's come and experience something entirely different along with a entirely new entrance to the grand finals. Let's see how you guys feel about capturing flags on rooftops. I mean, it's probably the map which is most known for its verticality. Being able to go, having its very distinct levels of up, down, left, right. But how that plays into capture the flag, I honestly wouldn't even begin to know. So, Mystic, welcome, welcome. Let's see if we can find something else. Hey, Insanity. I don't know if you're the same Insanity from before. So apparently, number one are going to have a party after winning that. They don't even need to win the grand finals themselves. Just the fact they beat Roxas is accolade enough.
It is crazy.
Well, guys, let's see. Well done, Lulu, 16. That's quite a name. If we could just find 4, we'll get things started for our break game while we wait for our grand finals to arrive. Do get in your last Facebook entries while you can. Otherwise, those opportunities for free credits will be taken away, and I guess we'll just have to spend them on, I don't know, what's a popular Danish dish?
Oh, well, Well, I think our national dish is... Actually, I'm not sure what you would call it in English. Give me 2 seconds. It is roast pork.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it is crispy pork with parsley sauce.
Huh. That's tamer than I was expecting. Oh, guys.
Well, if there's one thing that you'll meet in Denmark, it is that we love our sauce. Sauce.
Okay. Well, fair enough. Let's see if we can find ourselves some delicious sauce in this game of Capture the Flag. Come and join in. The more, the merrier. As we head to the rooftops for this community game. We should be back in 7 minutes or less with the continuation of our stream. But for now, have a good old time and capture yourself some flags. Well, that was a lot shorter than we would have expected. So maybe we needed more players before we start that one off, because I think maybe also possibly the rooftops there was a very small amount of space between the flags, because that was ridiculously short.
Yeah, maybe.
All right.
At least was the very first one.
Well, let's start up another community game because that was barely anything. So let's try something different. Dealers, give me someone else. Something else. What can we do?
A different one. Construction site.
Oh, you want to do another capture flag?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see if we can get maybe a few more people in, because I think the more people are in, probably the harder it is to capture a flag. So, as it turns out, we need to make it a little bit harder. Now, dealers, if you were a construction site,
if I were construction,
what would you build?
I don't know. A school?
Yeah, a school of dolphins.
No.
What have you got against dolphins, dealers?
Dolphins are terrible animals. At least I've been told.
I think I have read somewhere that actually is the case.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you about the time I swam with dolphins?
No.
It was very disappointing.
I didn't even know that you could swim.
I'm more of a floating kind of guy.
Hey man, don't laugh. There's a lot of people who can't swim in the world. I used to have a friend who couldn't swim, so he started swimming during our high school years. And I think he did swimming for, well, tried to learn to swim for like 1.5 years, and he still can't swim.
Oh man, that's tough.
Well, swimming is not for everyone. But then again, with that being said, there's a difference between being able to swim and then being able to obviously tread water.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like if you're going to go up... Oh, here's a random little fact for you, which you might have heard, but I didn't hear it for quite a long time, is apparently most people who went out, you know, pirates and things in those kind of times when the age of piracy was going on, couldn't swim.
Well, again, I don't think you need to be able to swim in the modern world. I just think you need to be able to tread water, because if you're able to swim, then that's cool. But in most scenarios, there's going to be a lifeguard or someone who can save you. So as long as you can stay afloat, or know how to stay afloat, then it should be fine.
Well, I mean, I've always, you know, I remember finding swim lessons quite confusing as a kid.
Why so?
I don't know. I think it's a little bit of a tricky thing to be able to teach. I think I never really learned how to do it properly. Personally speaking, I learned how to do it in a kind of slightly wonky way, I suspect, but just kind of. Alright, so Oreo is from the stream, and I think Roxas is just the person who enjoys playing MC5. That's nice.
Peter, I think we might need to just make a team deathmatch or a free-fall, seeing as how people are not really joining up.
They don't want to build a snow creature. I was careful not to tread on any copyrights there, dealers.
Hey man, it's not a copyright.
Well, I'll leave that between you and a bunch of well-played legal individuals. But yes, okay, it looks like we have enough players around for that. I'll tell you what, we'll jump into a battle royale just to get something on stream. So if you guys want to come and join in, please do queue in right now for your best chances of joining the game alongside us. Throw up a YOLO in chat if you are in the same game, and perhaps we can end up shooting each other in the face.
Peter, you are so violent. How about making love and not war? As a wise man once said, "Huh! War, what is it good for?"
Well, dealers.
Nothing. Yeah?
I admire the sentiment, if perhaps the execution is a little bit to be desired. But hey.
That's usually the case with me.
Well, I think what we need to do at the start of this game is go on a tour of some of these houses. So as we can see here, this house, air conditioning unit, pretty nice. Unfortunately, doesn't come with actual doors or windows, which is I actually don't know if that's going to be something that will come in. I think it might be a concession to, you know, MC5 not necessarily being built as primarily as a battle royale, because honestly, I feel like if you're going to drop anything from a battle royale, windows and doors is probably some of the stuff you can get away with. Because that's a lot of windows and a lot of doors you don't have to deal with.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Peter, let's drop at the airport.
Well, this is going to be short.
Well, maybe if you just get good, then it wouldn't be short.
Seems unlikely to me.
Imagine getting good.
Hey man, I don't have to imagine. I'm the best there ever was. Well, this shot...
That's a lie. You're a liar, good sir. And a scoundrel.
Well, at least I'm... Wait, did someone just... Okay. Well, that was dumb. I was so surprised that we managed to get that I kind of like didn't really... I should have just grabbed the weapon and run away. I knew that the second that I stayed there any longer than I absolutely had to, I was like inviting to get shot. In fact, the fact I even went there was inviting to get shot. Well, there you go. So, okay, so retrospectively, what I should have done is, it would have been better, since I had a shotgun, I had a very close range thing, was to go into the building and wait for someone else to go and get that stuff, and then shoot them in the back of the head with a shotgun. Because it was the chance, I should not have even been able to loot the thing at all, let alone actually get away from there, because everybody, you know, whoever called it in the first place was definitely coming there.
Yeah, well, I think a shotgun might be the way for you to actually start winning some games, considering how you're not really that good at, well, like, aiming, so having a bigger spread. I'm sorry, I'm being mean again. Peter, you do you.
Yeah, man, where's my boy on Twitch? Hero Gaming Simon, you gotta look out for me. Cyberbullying happening live on stream.
No. I'm sorry, I'll be nice from now on. Peter, I believe in you.
Why do you say these things which are obviously not true? Phew, we
Hey, I believe in you, man.
Alright, well, airport went about as well as you might expect. Let's go for South Village. That's at least some degree of compromise. Because yeah, okay, so let's kind of like let's talk about rating some locations here. So one of the reasons why I like the village is because there's so many walls and windows.
Do you want to rate locations? I give the airport 10 out of 10.
Well, that's because you're silly. The big difference between the airport and here is, unlike the airport, in the villages, there's actually like places you can hide behind, and you can break line of sight. Like, there's loads of doorways you can go through, loads of windows you can go through. So, you know, if you get into trouble, you're not just immediately dead. Whereas the complete opposite of that is the airport, where there's nothing but, like, there's so much open space, you can be hit from multiple different angles. But here you can see, like, this is a great example. You can jump all the way through there and try and, I mean, admittedly, that's probably not the best way to try and break line of sight. But, like, there's loads of different places you can go, and different, like, you know, if I come out of here and I need to get away from someone, I've got 3 different ways I can go, all of which are invisible to each other. So if the person following me doesn't choose the one of those 3 options correctly, then I can break line of sight with them. Whereas on airport, that's so much harder to do. To the point where, yeah, you just consistently get killed, because if you get into a fight, I mean, it's a whole battle royale thing, isn't it? Like, if you get into a fight, you're probably doing something wrong, because if you die, you only got 1 life. whereas you've got like, you know, in this case, 36 opponents. So if a given fight it risks you dying, it's probably a terrible fight for you.
I disagree. Airport is best.
I knew you'd say that.
I hear what you're saying, but no. Me like airport.
Gosh. Well, we finally got an SMG. I'd quite like to. I mean, it's kind of, you know, it's common wisdom that on a battle royale, any battle royale game, you're probably mostly looking for long range weapons. But I mean, there are, you know, there definitely are situations where did they just stand completely still?
Yeah, apparently.
We're so terrified of being shot that they must have thought I was a dinosaur.
Why?
Well, because if you stand still, I can't see you.
What the hell are you talking about?
Wait, have you not seen Jurassic Park?
I have.
Do you not remember the whole thing with the T-Rex?
No.
Man,
It's been a long time since I've seen it, to be fair.
that's a pretty old movie.
Yeah,
it still
maybe
holds up pretty well.
actually it was a really that was a Basque. Maybe you know what? I'm gonna watch it with my girlfriend when she comes home.
You should. It's a very good movie.
Yeah, it really is. It's better than the new ones. See, I enjoyed Jurassic World, but I don't like the concept of Jurassic World 2.
Well, Jurassic Park, the original, I think the original one is definitely worth seeing. The alternate, oh hello, wasn't really expecting to see someone there.
I think as far as I've been told, Jurassic World 2. Oh, go back, pick out the basket.
Oh, whoops.
I think Jurassic World 2 is also pretty good. At least I've been told so. I've not seen it, so I can't say for sure.
I mean, it's tough because Jurassic Park, the original movie, is absolutely amazing. So it's very, very hard to compare the two. Like, you know, it's genuinely a modern classic.
Yeah.
So, like, it was very hard for me to enjoy the Jurassic World movies because they were never, ever, ever going to be as good. Like they're okay as like action movies that involve dinosaurs, but like, you know, you're talking about like literally something which is considered to be, you know, one of the films that people will look back on well, they already look back on Jurassic Park as being legitimately like a very good piece of art.
Is it your favorite movie, Peter? Because it seems you're feeling
I wouldn't say it's my favorite movie, but I recognize it as a legitimately extremely good movie.
Yeah. I think that's good.
Also, we are murdering the heck out of people.
Hey.
Did I ever mention that I'm the best at video games?
Yes, and I've yet to see a proof of that.
What? What do you want? 5 kills?
Yeah, man, 5 kills. That's rookie numbers. Why are you laughing? I'm not even kidding.
Perfect.
Well, nice.
I'm getting pretty decent now at putting up to a headshot like relatively quickly. We are running out of ammo with our boss though, which is the problem. We might have to go back and pick up someone else's boss, maybe.
Yeah, that guy you just killed had a bosk.
Where did I kill them?
Behind the boxes, left. There you go. Oh no, he had a first.
Okay, well we're basically out of ammo with the boss, so I guess I'll take a gun with a couple of full clips. I guess we'll just have to stick what we've got on here and hope for the best. I would have preferred to have some more ammo for the boss, but I don't want to run out in the middle of a fight.
Nah, you just gotta take what you can get. Honestly.
Oh, there seems to be something a bit weird going on in the chat. So here at Gaming Simon, do let me know if there's anything that needs more attention, because I'm not really looking at the chat while we're playing this, because I'm too busy trying to avoid getting shot in the face. Oh, here's another boss. Oh wait, it's literally the same boss we swapped over for before. Fantastic. And I think, yeah, we just got rid of all our attachments too. So don't do that, guys. Because once you... weapons don't hold onto attachments, because I think it's... Again, it's another one of those things where they don't keep track of in the game just to make it more practical. They can actually run a battle royale at all. So, where do we go now is the question, because we've got...
You go kill people.
I think I'm going to switch to pistol to get my running speed up as much. In fact, I've got 5 speed boosts, so...
How many people are left?
5.
Okay.
Oh, hello.
Don't stand still.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, Peter. I need to know.
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna win now?
Well, I'm going to do my darndest.
That's not good enough.
But it's my darndest.
Yeah, it's still not good enough. Pop a speed boost. There we go. Run,
Yeah.
run, run and jump.
Oh man. Well, let's see. So the circle's actually inside the fort, which is a bit weird.
Oh, pick up the boss, Peter.
No, that's because it's the same boss I put down before.
Oh, really? Is it now?
Trollololol.
Man, that's the good old days of me.
I got distracted by a trollololol for just long enough to get shot in the face.
Man, trollololol.
This person did exactly what I did. I was thinking about putting up a proximity mine and sitting up there as a sniper, and that's literally what happened. Sorry, please tell me more about whatever it was you were talking about.
The trollololol guy. Like, it is... I think it's impressive that that guy is still around, because I remember watching him when I was, like an early teenager.
That wasn't that long ago.
It was in 2009.
That was like 10 years ago.
Yeah. So I was, like 10 years at that time. Mate.
Wait, so who is the trollolol?
Have you never seen the video?
I've seen the video, I just don't know who he is.
I don't either.
It looks like it's from...
I know he's a Russian guy, but I just remember seeing this video when I was like...
He's died. He was 77 and he died.
Okay, well I just remember seeing him when I was like 12 years old. It was like the very early days of memes.
Baron Sandy.
The pioneer of memes.
Just a second. Let's try and get back to something which is mildly relevant. Baron Sandy, we'll have to look into the instant replay stuff, because I think that is something you can do in OBS, but I haven't really looked into it properly. I think there's we'll have to look that up and see if I can figure out how it's done, because it definitely is something you can do. I'm just not sure exactly what the how it works. So Baron Sandy, we'll see. It would be nice to have some instant replays. Thank you for selling me the trollolol. I think it's one of those things that I think the video which kind of made it well known, like the footage was probably pretty old by that point.
Yeah.
So it's not like that person literally just, did that performance. I think it was like someone stumbling across it and be like, hey, this is great. Right, so we're waiting on our grand finals. I think our other semi-final is a little bit behind. I think because of the way which our particular bracket played out today. So if you guys would like to come and play on stream while we wait for our next ESL encounter to arrive, then please use the passkey ESL123. And we will be drawing our Facebook giveaway to a close in just a few moments time, so get your last entries in there while you can. Let's see, who have we got? I think we got our good friend and pal Oreo. Appreciate you, Oreo, for showing up to all these games. Bot MC5, if you've got any questions about cores or things like that, please do get in touch with Game Loss Support. I'm afraid we are not able to provide technical support on the stream because we don't know nothing. We are just humble streamers, but Game Loss Support, they know everything and they'll be able to help you out. We've actually got our passkey, I think, for our grand finals, so sorry about all of you guys who are turning up to this one. We're going to have to jump out of here and get to our next encounter, so sorry about that, all of you guys who came join. I would have ideally liked to have started that for you, so at least you had a game, but I don't think that's going to be possible. Let's see. So yes, it's going to be, oh man, it's going to be 2 Iraq teams in the grand final. Frankenstein versus number 1. Should be absolutely fantastic, as Frankenstein will beating out the Oblivious Allies and Vida Mala to make it here. And of course, number 1 beating out Roxas on their journey. So I think genuinely we get to see the 2 best teams going head to head, and that's all we could ever really ask for.
Yeah, that is true, kind of it, but why don't we go to a break while we get that lobby set up?
Well, sure. We'll catch you guys in a few minutes' time once the players are ready to get started. The grand finals of the Blue January finals will be in just a few moments' time. Welcome back, one and all. Our grand finals is here. Frankenstein versus number one. Both teams representing Iraq here today for the Blue January finals grand finals. Best of 5. Roxas nowhere in sight. Will number one continue their run and claim the grand prize, or will it all be about the monsters?
Well, number one, they are going up against the defending champions here of the monthly finals, because Frankenstein last week they won the Blue December 2018 finals. Now, obviously, before that, it was number one, as they are the champions of the November finals. So these two teams, they're gonna clash, and they're gonna clash hard because they are both so very strong. Right here, a grenade comes in and finds a kill onto Descents. Now Frankenstein, they find themselves even against number one.
Baron Sambi's got the right idea. This grand final's going to be very loud and brutal. Of course, we'll make sure to look after your ears even while we collect the delicious tears of whichever team loses out this first game. A huge difference between the winner and loser here. 200 euros. The first place team will take home 350 euros for their team, 150 euros for Frankenstein or number one, whoever comes in second. So,
ooh, counterfeit. I have to correct you. It is not euros. It is dollars this time around. In the blue, in the blue cups, it is dollars. In the red cups, it is euros.
Good catch there, dealers. As much as Avacol managed to catch out a good number of others with that tasty grenade toss.
Now for Frankenstein versus number one, counterfeit. I have a feeling that this is going to be quite a series and that it is going to be very, very close between these two teams, because Frankenstein, they have a 2-kill lead, but just 1 minute ago, number one, they were ahead. So these teams, they are gonna just keep on trading, and I think we're going down to the very last kill and the very last second.
Now, our standout player from the previous series against Roxas is definitely going to be Gigi Hadid, or Fury as otherwise known. I presume this is Baby Fury's actual name. Did incredibly well before. So far, hasn't managed to find their feet. It's actually been Bofon who's racked up the largest numbers of kills from on the side of Frankenstein. It's been about Bleach, who has, I think, got the strongest individual performance so far. But as a squad, number one looking extremely good.
Team manager Bleach coming in here and showing that he is ready to lead his boys to victory. He is the guy who will always direct them in the battles and tell them where to go. Now, number one, they're starting to run away with this game. Right now, they have a 7-kill lead against Frankenstein. Frankenstein, they don't want to see this happen in the grand final, but if they want to stop it, they're gonna have to make a difference here and now.
Descends begins the descent into madness for the Frankenstein squad. She said they are a team, one of our best. But number one, they are showing up in this tournament. They want to take the prize and it matters the most. Taco lands a beautiful double kill through there. I think with a floor bang grenade. Don't even need to see the opposition to be able to put them down.
Descends here. Looking for a grenade onto Hadid. But Hadid will find a kill onto Bleach. Recon Eckhart comes in and Descends actually kills himself. That's a bit unfortunate. Nah, Hadid, he has been the top fragger in the semi-final, not doing so well here in this game, but the rest of his team is there to relieve him of his duty as the top fragger.
Yeah, Bleach really stepping up for the number one squad as they cruise towards the first game victory, looking extremely strong. And yeah, I mean, this is what we've talked about so many times before. If the team leans too hard on an individual member, something's got to give eventually. But right now, number one as a team are looking pretty darn good. And Gigi Hadid actually the lowest performing member of the squad after being the highest before.
But even then, he still has found 5 kills, counterfeit. So that matters a lot. Being able to find kills and just outweigh the fact that he has also died 5 times. Right here, looking at Taco, 12 kills and 7 deaths. coming in with those 12 kills, has managed to put number 1 in the lead. Finds a floor bank grenade right there onto Noctis. Go4M will go down to Crispy. So will Insanity go down to Abigail. But 5 more kills and number 1, they're done with the first map here in this best of 5 series.
Looking very good for the number 1 squad as this first game comes to its bloody conclusion. Time, I think, isn't even going to be reached here as number 1 just need a few more. We've seen some fantastic grenade tosses from the blue team in this game. And I think Frankenstein, though they do crest the 40 kill mark, by the end it's not even close. Number 1 set themselves up for success. The rest of the grand finals beckons. But number 1 will always have this game on victory.
And now comes it, as it is a best of 5 series, it is far from over. Conversion will be our next destination, our next stop. But Frankenstein, they did not look as good here in this game as we expected. Number 1, they are looking unstoppable today.
Alright guys, so we're going to be moving on to Mob Crush for our next giveaway. So our giveaway winners on Facebook are Cosimo, Adeleo3 and Dafamo. So congratulations. Please post your dog tags and your platforms. So Mob Crush is next. We're going to do it for the next game or so because we need to get through a lot of giveaways in a very short amount of time. So get your entries in while you can. If we don't have entries on Mob Crush, then we'll just have to, you know, buy ourselves some delicious Danish produce with them instead. Hashtag semi. All you need, just drop it in, and we shall return in 7 minutes or less as our grand finals continues. Welcome back, one and all. Our grand finals continues as we head on to conversion for our second encounter between Frankenstein and number one. We're impressed with what we've seen so far from both teams, but number one claim the first game victory. And from talking to them in between games, they're feeling pretty good right now.
And between Frankenstein and number one, it is a match of two titans counterfeit. Frankenstein are reigning champions, number one. Champions 2 monthly finals back. They want to regain their title. And we're gonna have to wait and see which titan will come out on top. For now, number one, they are one game ahead.
This second game looking pretty even on conversion. We have got some early military support coming in as number one go charging through. Very bold to go face to face with Frankenstein. You know that doesn't necessarily work out that well in the stories. But right now it's dead even.
Yeah, well, Frankenstein, they are finding kills for themselves right here. Number one are even, however, with them. Bomber being deployed by Frankenstein, and now number one, they're gonna have to go back into hiding because you don't want to be hit by a bomb to your face.
Now, dealers, in the original Frankenstein story, the real villain was humankind's inhumanity to other humans. In this one, it's Bleach. So far has been doing exceptionally well for the squad, but number one are doing even better. Both of them managed to get a couple of kills in before going down themselves. Head-to-head, Gigi Hadid takes out Bleach. For Frankenstein and number one, they stay in the lead even despite the brutal exchange back and forth.
Well, it seems to be just a repeat of the first map counterfeit, where Frankenstein and number one, they trade blows and they just trade the lead here and there. But it is just going to come down to the very last minute where we're going to have to see which team will then be able to roll the dice successfully in their favor.
Frankenstein doing a pretty good job. Yeah, Bleach, we mentioned before, the standout player in the early gaming, hasn't slowed down at all, even despite taking the bullet from number one's Valentine in that last encounter. Will get blown up by a well-placed insanity grenade. And as we know, number one have been very on point.
They certainly have, but now Frankenstein, they're starting to create quite a lead for themselves with 4 kills right there. Saras finds kill onto Crispy, starts to shrink that lead just a tiny bit, but as I say that, 2 members from number one go down, and Frankenstein, they find a lot of kills. We're getting dangerously close to the 40 kill mark for Frankenstein. Number one, are they gonna lose this second map?
It's certainly looking a lot better from the Frankenstein squad as this finals wears on. Of course, it's best of 5, so the teams will ebb and flow. It's a rare team like Roxas who can manage to push all the way through and take a 3-0, but it's number one who carry forward the hopes of Roxas to at least have been beaten by the tournament winners. Frankenstein are looking very strong though. As we reach the halfway mark, Frankenstein are almost done with number one.
Number one, they're gonna fall here in the second map, which means that we're gonna have at least 2 more games counterfeit, Museum and Scramble. And if the teams continues to just trade maps, then we're gonna have a deciding game on the construction site.
So Bleach doing incredibly well, but Avacol we've yet to recognize in this game, and has been doing fantastically well with that BSL. You can just see how quickly they're slamming out the shots, taking every opportunity they can get. And it's just about being in the right place at the right time as Avacol locks down the last kill for Frankenstein and ties up the series 1 game apiece.
Number one and Frankenstein counterfeit. This series is delivering, and I cannot wait for game number 3.
Let's take a look at this number. So Avacol, I'm not totally sure, and Bleach both performing extremely well. Taco for the side of number one, but if you look down the rest of the roster, some of them not having the best of games there. And I think that leads to why that was so Frankenstein favoured. Guys, we're going to be quickly tying up our Mob Crush giveaway, so get your entries in there while you can. And we shall return in just a few minutes' time with not just our third game of the Grand Finals, but also our YouTube giveaway. See you guys in a few minutes' time. Welcome back to the finals, one and all. Let's get it on as we head to the museum. The third game of the finals is here, and only one of these two, number one or Frankenstein, can take the advantage and ride that into game number 4.
Frankenstein didn't manage to win their way back in the second game, number 1. However, they won this first game, and now, if we're going to continue this trend, number 1, they will win this game. But right now, Frankenstein coming out finding 3 kills in the first 30 seconds of this map.
Bleach, we remember from before, was a real standout player. And we noted that for number 1, their team as a whole really struggled in that last match. It seems like Frankenstein are trying to ride that wave of momentum. Nice thread of the grenade there from Sasha through, really making use of the terrain in creative ways. And that's something we see from some of our veteran players. They find ways to play the maps that just you would not see at all in solo queue.
Yeah, in these... Well, let's just say that these professional players kind of fit. Obviously, they have a little tips and tricks up their sleeves, and of course they know how to take advantage of these tips when trying to kill their opponents. Now, number one, they actually have a lead, but for how long, I cannot say. Frankenstein would love to fight their way back, but we just have to admit that obviously these two teams, they like to trade kills, and ultimately they always make their way back.
Hey Sug, welcome to the stream. You've joined us just in time for the midway point of our grand finals. Number one, they looked like they were going to fall behind in the face of Frankenstein's fury, but apparently that last game loss has lit something within them. Saris, currently 4-0, multiple members of the number one team with 4 kills. They, as a squad, fell down in game number 2, but as a squad, rise up once again for game 3.
We have a 10-kill lead on the side of number one. They must be mad after losing game number 2, because they are looking unstoppable right now, and we haven't seen this passion and this pressure come out from number one before in this grand final. And even in game number 1, which they won, they did not look this good.
Number one, the team who took down Roxas. Whatever happens, that will be something noted in the history books. But to cap that all with a full $350 prize would be, of course, the sweetest way of all. You have to know whichever team wins out here is going to have one hell of a party once this whole tournament is done. But it's looking more and more like it could well be number one.
Yeah, well, Frankenstein trying to fight their way back, but number one, they're running away with this game. Now, I must say that we do know that Frankenstein, they love the likes of Museum, Street, Vantage, simply because they love these short-term clashes. But they are finding themselves with the shorter end of the stick this time around, because they are falling prey to number one. And they are about to lose their second map in this best of 5 grand final.
Trading of kills coming in thick and fast. Crispy managing to pull a lot through, but Insanity is able to make the punish. Of course, there are some real dangerous areas which Insanity is coming up on right now. These steps up here, which lead you up to Big Head, they're an excellent way to get a bombing run or an airstrike to the face, just because your movement is pretty limited by the stairwells, and it makes an excellent place to deploy military support.
5 more kills kind of fit, and then this map will be over. Number one, they're very, very close. Frankenstein, they must feel a bit irritated about this result. Looking at the scoreboard, it is Avikoy and it is Crispy putting in the work for Frankenstein, but it is only 9 kills. That's not exactly what you need when you are in a grand final scenario.
Yeah, well, you can see, looking at the scoreboard, the number one team really have stepped up as a squad. There's a spread of, only about 4 kills between the best performing and worst performing member of the number one team. So that's honestly super, super impressive. The whole team is pulling their weight. For Frankenstein, a totally different story, as they get almost shut out of the game by nearly the same amount that they were able to do to number one in the previous game. So we've got ourselves a game 4 coming up. With number one taking the lead, they only need to win one more time. Dealers, do you think they'll do it?
Oh, I definitely think number one, they can do it. In this map, they looked unstoppable, and they looked like a team coming out with so much fire. If they can keep up this momentum and just get it on to the next map, then I'm sure that they can shut down Frankenstein.
Alright guys, so we're going to draw our Mob Crush winners. So let's see. It's gonna be Cosnut and Gruff, our Mob Crush winners, so congratulations guys. Cosnut and Gruff, please do post your dog tags and your platforms over on the Mob Crush page. We'll be moving officially onto YouTube, so hashtag finals. You've only got a little bit of time to get this one in, so hashtag finals over on the YouTube page, because if number one win the next game, then that's where our finals giveaway will conclude. Get in those hashtag finals while you can. Do remember, only enter in once, or Nightbots will become mad and throw out your entries. But we shall not be mad, for we love you all so very much. And we'll see you in 7 minutes or less for Game 4 of our Grand Finals. Welcome back, one and all. Grand Finals Game 4 is here. Frankenstein now on the cusp of elimination. Number one on the cusp of glory. It's looking like the team that took down Roxas are becoming the firm favourites for this finals, but everything could change here on Scramble.
It certainly could. Number one, they're so close that they can practically lift the trophy already from here. But they need one more win. And Frankenstein, they stand in their way.
Stand and will fight as well. As this early going pretty done, even between the two squads. Noctis, who of course, we're starting to get a lot of the familiar faces up at the top, as well as the mix of the new blood. Frankenstein, definitely a team we're much more used to being up there at the top. As Gigi Hadid does some pretty nice work. We did notice in game number 3, Gigi, after performing really well in the other parts of the tournament, did start stepping up again for the number one team, was instrumental in getting number one ahead against Roxas, and does manage to land a whole bunch more kills through as well.
4 kills now coming in from Gigi Hadid, but whoa, that's a big airstrike for Frankenstein, finding 3 kills right there. Now, number 1, however, they are starting to develop that kill lead once again.
Oh my god!
Having a 4 kill, but whoa, that's 2 grenades and 1 airstrike, picking up 4 kills in total. Number 1, the absolute mad lads.
It's like we're back in Bounty Hunter City where everything is explosions all the time. Number 1 really making good use of those kills to turn them into more kills, and that's what the military support's supposed to be there for, to provide the ability for teams, if executed correctly, to expand on their lead. But Frankenstein do manage to make up for a lot of it in a short amount of time. Sasha coming from the side, 6-1, Nick, that's 6-2 as Gigi trades their life across. Number 1 ahead by 4. It's it's nowhere near to close done as Bleach and Noxus and the rest of the Frankenstein squad pick up kills with the grenades. They're going to start getting some kill streaks of their own.
Right here, Sasha having found 7 kills. Taco takes Sasha down immediately after spawning up. Crispy goes down to a grenade from both. We're not seeing a lot of sniper action in this game. We're seeing a lot of grenades. 2 Cog-Vs right there finding 2 kills, and then suddenly Crispy and Taco and Bleach, they find kills, and the game is even at 23 kills.
This is insane! I've never seen 2 teams go at each other like this. They're literally all just spawning in as assaults and piling grenades in en masse. Everyone's dying so quickly, they're respawning with a new set of grenades, and it's just a never-ending explosion hell.
Well, there are shrapnels everywhere, counterfeit now. An airstrike will come in, and a bomber. Just to rid ourselves of all those frag grenades kills, but 2 kills with a bomber from number 1 as well. Comes in and kills Frankenstein. 3 minutes and 40 seconds left to go, counterfeit. This game is far from over, but if this kill streaks, if the kill streaks they continue, then the game will be over very, very soon because the kills come in so fast.
It's very rare to see 2 teams spending a lot of time inside the same hangar, especially when it's the supply hangar like this, one of the smallest of the internal structures on Scramble. Yeah, both teams just piling in again and again, and everybody's dying every single time, so I honestly don't even know which team comes out ahead of this, but maybe number 1 winning that last exchange could be significant. Saras continues to apply that pressure. Taco does get taken out by Avacol, but number 1, they keep that 3 kill advantage, looking to try and spin it into even more.
2 kill lead for number 1. Taco finds kill onto Sanya there. Crispy and Bofam 2 kills with that grenade. That is huge, considering that number 1, they have 42 kills. Make that 43. Taco finds kill onto Crispy. 6 more kills than number 1. They will have this game. They are on championship point.
I don't know if this is true, but it certainly feels like one of the most violent games of MC5 we've seen in a long time. Even if the kill numbers go all the way up towards the end, every single kill has been through something incredibly explosive. Bofon has been amazing with the grenades. Both teams have been dishing out the hurt, and heartbreakingly enough, that will be the end of it. Number 1 will claim the prize at the top and call themselves not only Slayers of Roxas, but champions of our Blue January finals.
Number 1, they take down practically every obstacle in their way. As you said, both Frankenstein and Roxas, maybe the 2 most winning teams here in the Blue Cups. And they can crown themselves the champions of not only a multitude of different tournaments, and the 2nd place in the Blue November 2018 finals, but also the champions of the Blue January finals.
So guys, we've got a couple of YouTube giveaway winners to find, so if you can, Morimi Granderson, if you can put your details into the chat. We've got the next 3 minutes to respond. We'll be jumping onto actually let's go for a tier 1 team deathmatch. Let's see if we can pull it off just as something a little bit different. We'll see if we can get any words from our winners. Any words for the stream? After their absolutely astonishing victory. You know, I kind of feel like it's very hard to top on the list of a team's accomplishments taking down Roxas, but I guess the environment of MC5 esports is a changing. And, well, the words they have for us before, which I actually forgot to even mention on stream, is that the words they wanted this stream to be remembered by were the words, "Nothing stays forever." And I think that's no joke when it comes to how quickly things can change up at the top of our tournaments.
You are absolutely right, Counterfeit. And, well, just 2 weeks ago, it was Roxas that were dominating the landscape of MC5 Blue Comps. Now, number one, they step in, and they replace Frankenstein, who also looked like the new kings of the Blue Cups. So I guess it is open to anyone now, and I am very excited for the future of the Blue Cups.
So guys, do come and join us for our last game. Marimel? I kind of feel however I say it, I'm going to get it wrong. Thank you for your details. So we're going to do one last game. We'll see if people are up for this. So if you've got tier 1 weapons, tier 1 armor, please do come and join us. For our last game of the stream, we'll we'll roll our second giveaway winner, since we've had a response for our first. And it will be Shivori Grandison. Oh, I think that's... Okay, so I'm pretty sure that's the same person entering in twice. So we're going to try and make sure at least we spread it out a little bit. So Teardrop MC5 will be our alternate winner. So Teardrop MC5. And let that be a lesson to all of you guys. If you're going to enter in with multiple accounts, at least try and not give them the same last name. So, who have we got? We've got Soldier146. I think there's quite a good chance we're going to end up with people who are actually new players, which is going to feel really bad if that's the case. Because obviously, personally speaking, my skills have developed to a elite level at this point.
Peter, don't lie, brother.
We've got some word from GG themselves saying that was the most fiery final they've ever played. Yeah, that was crazy. We'll have to see if we can maybe put together a... Yeah, I don't know how well that came across on the broadcast as far as what we were saying. Hopefully, it was just as exciting for you guys as it was for us. We'll have to see about maybe getting that one put into some sort of highlight reel. Because that was a lot of fun. So, Teardrop MC5, thank you for your details. So we'll get you in there. We'll give this a couple more minutes to see if we can find a few more tier 1 buddies. If that's not the case, then we'll just call it there. But I'd like to, you know, I'd like to play with you guys more. Oh, there we go. We've got a couple more. If you've got a 2v2, I think that's probably enough to get started with. We've got 2 spectators. Daedalus, what would you say to someone who sits on the sidelines rather than enters the battlefield?
Meh.
Oh man, that would scare me onto the battlefield. No doubt. Do you know, Daedalus, that's a historical detail which not many people know. Is that actually on real battlefields, they oftentimes bring goats with them to shame the soldiers into fighting. What? Nah, it's not true at all, just made up. But you believed it for half a second.
No, no, I did not.
Oh man. Alright, our friends are leaving us. I think it's not going to work out. So in that case, we've got our details from Teardrop MC5. So that's all we do need. Congratulations again to number 1. And for Frankenstein for giving us a absolutely fantastic finals. If you guys would like to check up on our next week's taunts, which will also be containing the Red February finals and the Blue February finals as our last weekend, for a while at least, of finals action, please do head across to the ESL site for the MC5, dropping the details in the chat all over the place. For now though, please do follow Modern Combat on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Mob Crush, and YouTube. Of course, YouTube. How could I forget YouTube? If you'd like to see more of Daedalus, who's been casting alongside me today, then you can check them out at Daedalus Casts on Twitter. Of course, you can find me at Counterfeit Cast on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube as well. Thank you guys so much for dropping by. Hero Gaming Simon, Teardrop, Vol Memory, Sug, and of course Nightbot and Insanity, and everyone else who came and watched the stream along with us today. Hope you guys had a wonderful time. Deedless, do you have any final words before we head off into the bleak darkness of the night?
You have done an amazing job tonight, Peter. Thumbs up.
Ah, you too, Deedless, you too. Have a great night, everyone, and we'll see you next time.